You all set?
Okay, 7 o'clock. We have a quorum. Call to order this meeting of the Lunenburg Historical Commission. Before we start, I have to read the draft script for remotely conducted meetings. As a preliminary matter, this is Richard McGrath, Chair of the Lunenburg Historical Commission. I will do a roll call to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative, stating your name. I will state your name. Respond in the affirmative. Bill Lakso,
Present.
Jennifer Sanderson,
Present.
Kevin Boussom,
Yes, present.
Bill Tyler,
Present.
Good evening. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel. And this meeting of the Lunenburg Historical Commission is being conducted remotely. The town of Lunenburg, in response to the COVID-19 coronavirus, is currently following the guidance for the Lunenburg Board of Health, Mass Department of Public Health, and the CDC regarding the virus and steps communities can take to prevent the spread. And all town facilities are only open by appointment only at this time. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A20, all public meetings are being conducted remotely. The order, which you can find posted on the town website on the COVID-19 Information Center page, accessed through the town manager's webpage, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberation of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting of the Lunenburg Historical Commission is convening by Zoom, as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join in. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, Richard McGrath, the chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in colloquy with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. The chair will first ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their pardon me. Speak to identify their names and addresses only. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, I will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. Finally, each vote is taken in this meeting. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. It's an echo.
That's just the other two things open.
Review of minutes.
Is this where, do I read them or?
Yeah, just read them. And then if there's any discussion or corrections
Oh,
need to be made, we'll
All right, remember, I'm a newbie with this, so bear with me.
we will.
Open via Zoom, the meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. by Chairman Richard McGrath with a quorum present. Minutes of the December 17th, 2020 meeting were read and approved. Bill Lakso agreed to make inquiries of other towns, planning directors, and officials in regard to the enforcement of the minimum maintenance bylaws. Mr. Lakso also agreed to consult with the building commissioner, the planning director concerning all buildings. The APDC is working on increasing awareness about the primary school and attempting to find a grant or program that matches its needs. Amendments to the demo delay bylaws suggested by Bill Lakso. 1, owner must immediately take action. 2, owner must report on a bi-monthly basis. 3, listing by a broker with experience with historic homes. 4, an estimate of costs must be done by a disinterested party. 5, cost of moving the building in its current condition, not after it's fallen down. 6, thorough contact information of the interested party. And 7, if no other solution, the delay can be removed. And then in general, we want to add penalties for not securing buildings and ignoring notices and pretending like we're going to go away. Update on the Arnold Litch Cemetery. The stones are ready, but the tree work must be completed prior to excavating and installing them. We have one quote of $900 to date. The Fish Street update. There's a proposal to add 2 more stone walls. Richard McGrath would donate his services in restoring the wall with 2 granite posts and a gate. The Cemetery Commission is waiting on tree cutting services and 30 tons of stone are required. That's what I have for that. Bill Tyler of the Cemetery Commission reports that the tomb needs work and is looking into it. The status of 400 Howard Street and of 62 Elm Street remain the same. Jennifer Sanderson will take photos. Historically speaking, Jen and Bill will research an article about the primary school, and Mr. Lakso continues to submit articles to the Ledger. With no further business, meeting was adjourned. Next meeting, February 25th, 2021. All in favor to approve? Oh, no.
Any discussion or corrections that need to be made to that? Yes, Bill Lakso.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move the acceptance of the minutes as read.
Kevin, could you second that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor, Bill Lakso,
Aye.
Kevin Boussom,
Aye.
Jennifer Sanderson,
Aye.
Richard McGrath votes aye to accept the minutes as read, as presented. Good job, very professional, and I think you've done this before.
I haven't, but thank you. Though I do have a coach.
Very well organized, good job. Public comment, Bill Tyler, did you have any comment, being the only public here?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, new business. We have a demo application for 11, The Clearing. Did everybody get a chance to review that or visit the site?
Yeah,
Bill,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I reviewed the photographs that you sent, and Jennifer and I visited the site. And so we have had a pretty good look at it. So that's where we stand at the moment.
Kevin, did you get a chance to
If you'd
review?
like a motion at this time.
Yes, I did look at the photographs that you sent by email. I haven't looked at the building in person though.
Yeah, it looks pretty much the same.
Do you know the, because I couldn't find much information about it online. When was it built? Do you know that?
1920.
Okay.
I'm
It's on
sorry,
the
I didn't
dem-
hear that.
It's 1920. It's on the demolition delayed determination form. Bill Lakso, did you have any
I
comment?
would personally, I would judge. Yeah, I would judge based on the photographs plus our visit there that this is not a significant building despite its age. And I would move that the demolition be allowed to continue at the convenience of the owner.
Jennifer, what is your opinion?
I would second that. I would second that motion, having reviewed the photos and having visited the property. It's not relevant.
Kevin, what is your opinion?
I mean, from the photos, it seemed like there was it looked like there was a lot of rot and just neglect and decay. Like would it like be feasible to salvage even, or?
Yes, it's built, and at least the back part and from the front part, there doesn't appear to be a cellar. I looked through a hole in the floor, hatch that opens up to utilities that are in a crawl space under the house. The back part's just built on like 2 courses of flat fieldstone. So the pictures I showed you when I went there, I went inside and went through the house. The sills were all badly rotted on the back part, and the ceilings were a skilter. Everything was out of level, so it looked like it had been neglected for a number of decades. Any further discussion? So Bill, did you want to make a motion again, please?
Yes, based on a examination of the photographs and visual from the outside of the building, would recommend that the application be approved and demolition proceed at the convenience of the owner.
Is there a second to that motion?
I
Motion?
second that.
All in favor, Bill Lakso?
I second that.
And Jennifer seconds it.
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Aye.
Richard McGrath votes aye also. It's unanimous to approve the demolition request for 11 The Clearing. I'll let them know tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's Friday, Monday. Next item on the agenda, APDC update. The APDC had a meeting last night and discussed the primary school. I reported that I had been in contact with a dozen people from different communities, city planners, historical commission members, architects, and others. And there are a number of different titles. It was amazing, the response I was able to get online from other communities about what they did to rehab their buildings. And a number of the communities have buildings that were recently rehabbed and are in the process of being rehabbed now. Winchendon has 4 of these schools that are being rehabbed for various situations, from veterans housing, elderly housing, community center, condos. Yeah, there's quite artist studios. There's mixed uses of some of these. There's quite a few different scenarios available, and they used grants from historic grants from the state and federal, CPA funds, grants from the housing authorities. There's more than that. So there's quite a few ways of funding these things. Some of the communities had sold to developers, and they chose the developer that they wanted. They had Beverly had 4 developers bid on their building, and they chose the one that fit the community best for the community's needs. There were other ones that the building was sold to a developer and the land was deeded to the community. So there's a number of different ways to reuse these buildings. Leominster recently did the Carter Junior High School. My father worked on that school when as a bricklayer when that was built. It was in the I don't know, 40s or 50s, and the just a beautiful building, but had been vacant or hardly used for decades, and that there was a lot of talk about tearing it down and concern that it was going to be torn down. And I don't know the whole story as of yet, but it's been totally rehabbed, and it's beautiful and serving a purpose in the community. So I'm doing further work on this, and we'll have a lot more information next month. We talked about the Brooks House last year. We had spoke with the planning board about the Brooks House because the lot is part of the old farm lot there, which includes the land that Passios is on. It was never separated. So we asked them what could be done about separating that and how to make it so that that house can stay there. We haven't heard back from them since then. So we're going to be in contact with the planning board and see if they've done any discussion and research about that. We proposed an endangered list for the APD to cite, to draw attention to houses and buildings that are in danger of being lost to the community in the future. We had, and so we're working on that. One of the members thought we should also have a positive list of successes in the community, buildings that have been saved. Excuse me. So in 3 of the endangered properties were the primaries that I made a list of 5, 3 of which were town-owned buildings: the primary school, the Brooks House, and the town pound, which needs some serious work. And the APDC does have a plan to address the needs of the town pound this year. Also, the house on the corner of Whiting and Lancaster Ave and the steeple on the Methodist church were endangered. So this idea is still in progress. We envision that it would be posted on the website as well as the Lunenburg Ledger. And a copy sent to the Mass Historical Commission. And I was like to submit for your consideration the idea that the Historical Commission should have an annual list also. It could encompass houses before a certain date, or probably simplify it to use it to address the K houses. The list of the K houses, if we're having a survey done and then we collect the condition of all those houses and see which ones that need attention. I mean, I think some of them are just from the past few years on the Historical Commission. Some of them are just kind of eaten up by a surrounding house, you know, like it's been remodeled on the outside, so you wouldn't even know it was from that time period. And then it's just deteriorated and ends up being lost. So if there was a list that could bring attention to the value of these houses and might assist in preserving some of them into the future. What do you think, Bill Lakso?
Oh, I agree.
Yes, in fact, two things. Going back momentarily for the primary school in Fitchburg, I think we all know that a major renovation and preservation was accomplished on the City Hall. And I see a parallel here with the City Hall in Fitchburg and the primary school. Excuse me. And we had a video tour of the now completed City Hall, which in a sense is much the same as the primary school. The interior was totally deteriorating terribly. And they did a wonderful job on it, and it cost about $24 million. But essentially, they stripped out the interior totally and rebuilt. And so that's, I just wanted to mention that because there's, as you've said from research you've done recently, you know, maybe the primary school is not yet dead. So that's just a comment I have. On the Brooks House, that's good news. In fact, later on in the agenda, we're going to be discussing articles in the Lunenburg Ledger, and one that we are preparing right now is on the Brooks House, its history and its uses over the years and so forth. So, and finally, the endangered list. Excellent choices, I'm sure. And there are indeed many others. As you mentioned, the K houses. We have a great deal of information on work that has been done in the past in surveying these houses. And we've got a good base on which to continue that work, probably in cooperation with a professional consultant. End of comments.
Kevin Boussom.
I mean, I think both the ideas of a endangered list and a list to show the ones that have been saved are both good ideas. Yeah.
Good. And I have a protege that I've been teaching masonry and bricklaying from the vocational school. And I took them downtown Fitchburg to look at all the buildings, the stonework and the brickwork and stuff. And we did go up to the front door of the city hall and looked in the front door, and they did a really beautiful job with that building. It was amazing. The the masonry and everything was redone and cleaned, and the whole new interior. It's yeah, it was nice that they preserved that. That would have been a big hole on Main Street if they had torn that down, which there was a movement to do that also. So that worked out good. Any other comment on this? On the endangered list, so would you think that doing the K houses from the 1833 map would be sufficient to start with?
Oh, yes, yes. And a number of them have already been done. And there are, I think, if my recollection is correct, I think about 35 more of the K houses that need to be surveyed and submitted to Massachusetts Historical Commission.
Good. So you think we should start this list and publish it after we have the complete survey? Or can we go ahead with this before then?
Well, I think some of this can be done ahead of engaging a professional. We have a list of all the addresses and so forth, so it would take some legwork, of course, to at least pay a visit to observe the condition of these homes and, report accordingly which ones we feel are appropriate for the survey and hopefully preservation for the future.
Yeah. All right.
So we could,
Yeah, as time allows, it might be good to, in our travels, to take a look around and see what's what. I know we lost at least, I think we just lost, and since I've been on the commission, I think we lost one to demolition. It passed through demolition delay, and that was it. I think it was when we had a 6 month. Well, we had that one, and then we had two on Shirley Road, right? The one at Padula's and the one across the street at Gito Global that was torn down. So 3 of those, and then the Stillman Stone House, is that it? That the salt box by the church on Mass Ave? Yeah. Yeah, so there was quite a few.
yes.
And there was one on, I think, Page and Gibson on the Page Street and Gibson Street. There was one right in the V right there. And that beat out the demo delay. And I think with the 18-month demo delay and the updates, it'll work a lot better. Because people that are taking out the demo delay want to tear the house down, and they're not making any effort. They're just kind of waiting things out. And that's what happened at Page and Gibson. He just kind of did the minimal and waited it out and then tore it down. I think he put up 2 houses on the lot, but that was a very early house also. I went in that one, and the all hand hewn beams and yeah, it was run down, but somebody could have made a nice place of that. All right, any other further discussion? Okay, old business, 400 Howard Street. Any insights? News? I haven't heard anything.
Well, Jennifer and I took a ride over there. When was it? Maybe 2 weeks ago. And nothing has been done to protect the building from further deterioration. So it looks exactly the same as when you and I visited. And it's just continuing to deteriorate. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, I went over last week, and I agree it was in the same condition. Nothing has been boarded up. It's still open to anybody that wants to go in there, I would say. And they had excavated everything around it. So it was like an island with big gullies excavated around it. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. That was the 400 Howard Street. Do you remember, Kevin? That was the 1920s bungalow. They're building a big housing project on the site. It looks like I'm not sure what's going to happen, what their intention is. And again, with the updated demo delay procedures, that'll get rid of the lack of knowledge that we have about what's going on with these things, and it'll hold people accountable to the town.
So once the updated bylaw is
We're coming up with that.
okay, but if it
Yes.
goes into place, would it then take effect on like 400 Howard Street, for example?
No, have to go to town meeting, be approved by the voters.
Okay. Yeah.
First, it has to go to selectmen. The selectmen have to say it's okay to go on the warrant before the town, so we need their approval first, and then the town folk have to vote on it. And then it has to go to the state to be approved by the state. So it could be quite a few months before it goes into effect. So that wouldn't affect 400 Howard Street or anything that we come across between now and the time of its approval by the state. Any other discussion? Okay. Next item, Arnold Litch Memorial. Tree removal needs to happen. We had a price of $900 for tree removal, but haven't heard back from them either. The tree people are very busy, I guess, because no one calls back. Billy Allever of Allever Excavating, who is going to donate his services to dig out the plot for the foundation for the memorial stones. And I are going to do the tree removal work. There's a number of not too big trees that need to be taken down, and a number of branches up above that need to be removed so that if there's a storm, branches don't fall down on the re-erected gravestones. So as soon as the weather breaks and the snow's gone, we're going to go forward with that. So we should be seeing some movement on it this spring. Any questions or discussions on Arnold Litch Cemetery? Okay, next item on the agenda, Goodrich Cemetery. I spoke with Bill Tyler about stone and the amount of stone that needed to be done with. And last I spoke with him, we were waiting for the mark flag to cut the trees down that have grown up around the two stone walls that exist there. Bill, could you update us on it? Tree removal?
Yeah, I got a call from Mark Flagg on January 25th, and he was going to proceed to take the trees down the next couple of days, but then we got 18 inches of snow, so that kind of
Yeah,
put a stop to that. So I would assume, as you know, we've lost some quite a bit of the snowpack already. So I would hopefully in the next few days it's going to get down some more, and hopefully he'll be there maybe within a week or two and take care of that. And then once you know the ground's a little harder, the DPW will go up there and clear out the shrubbery and all the underbrush that's there, clear that out. Probably do some stump grinding or try to pull the stumps out. Then once that's done, then we can, you know, proceed with the stone wall. We have enough money in our fiscal year 22 budget for to purchase the stones. So, but that won't be available till July 1st.
mhm.
So, but I mean, I don't know what your time frame would be. I mean, it's up to you when you want to do it. I mean, but it wouldn't be till after July anyway.
Yeah, good.
So hopefully that would be prepared by then.
Mhm.
I did, there's been all, you know, speculation that there might be more than 5 people buried there, but there's no really evidence to that. There are 3 stones there, and there's one base that's buried, well, that's buried inside the underbrush near one of the trees. There's a base, but there's no stone. So at some point, I'm going to investigate all the broken headstones we have over at Holman Street and see if we can put together something. I mean, we know who's there, so it's a matter of trying to put together the broken pieces. I would assume if they were broken, they were over there.
Mhm.
If not, I was going to ask you, Richard, what the procedure would be. I mean, can you purchase marble like that today?
Yes, yeah.
You can.
What would it be for?
Well, it would be to finish the Goodrich Street gravestones. In other words, if we can't find any of the stones, there's 2 complete stones there right now, and there's 2 that are broken, and there's 1 that doesn't have a stone at all. So my question to you would be, in the worst case scenario, if we can't find the pieces to those stones, is it possible to purchase marble and
Yes.
engrave them again?
Yeah, we can purchase them, and they could be purchased, and it should be the same marble. It's a it's a vein from southern Vermont and into northern Massachusetts. That marble is available as far as I know.
Yeah.
And I can do the lettering on them. So.
Yeah. Is it pretty pricey for that?
I don't know. I haven't bought any, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it's too expensive. It's not a
Yeah.
big stone.
Yeah. That's about all I have on the Goodrich cemetery. I did have a couple of questions on the email you sent me about the Form E and Form B. I don't know if you want to talk about it now, or you can wait till later.
Yes, let me just bring the members up to date. I emailed Bill about filling out the Form E for the town survey for the Goodrich Cemetery, and a Form B for the town tomb at North Cemetery. And then also nominating those 2 places for the National Register, which would give them a notice and protection in the future, as well as the ability of receiving federal and state grants, because it would also be on the Massachusetts State Register of Historic Places. So what were your questions, Bill?
Well, I mean, I was wondering about because I did a little bit of background on North and South Cemetery. And it appears that there was already attempted or started at some point. It looked like it was 25 years ago. So I don't know what the status of those are. It has to be visited.
Yeah, those are done and they're in the record at the Mass Historic Society. I mean, Mass Historic Commission. Inga Hunter had done the one at South Cemetery and I did the one at North Cemetery.
So they're complete?
They're complete as far as I know, yeah. North Cemetery is complete because I did that one, so I know that's complete. And I saw the one at South Cemetery in the record at the Mass Historical Commission. So that's complete as far as I know.
So what is the next step in order to get those on the National Register? Is that a process?
You have to fill out the form and then it goes to Mass Historic Commission and then they have a board that reviews it, and then if they agree that it's worthy, they send it to the Department of the Interior, who reviews it and makes the determination that it's going to be on the register. If you Google it, all the information will come up.
So is that a separate form from the ones that are already completed? Is that a separate form?
It is yeah, it's a totally different thing. The Form Bs and Es are for the town survey. Right? The Mass Historical Commission wants the cities and towns to do a survey and encourages them to do a survey of historic properties and buildings in the town, which go on record at the Mass Historical Commission. But that's a different thing from the National Register.
Oh, okay.
And that just goes into their file cabinet. So there's a base of that anyone doing research has a base of properties in the cities and towns that they can access.
So would that application for the National Register, would that include the information that's on the Form B?
Yes, I think it does. Yeah. I haven't made one out before, but to my knowledge, that does.
Yeah. Because that'd be pretty beneficial to be able to get a grant for some of the work that needs to be done for the repairing all the headstones there, for one thing.
Yes, yeah.
There's lots of them.
Yes, yeah, yeah, and restoring the curbs and the plots, and yeah, there's a lot of work to do. Pardon?
I was going to say the Form B is specifically for the tomb, though, because
yeah, B's are for structures, houses, and buildings. E's are for cemeteries.
even if the building is within the cemetery bounds, it has to be done separately.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure that should have a Form B for it, but I'm not sure. When you go on Mass Historic Commission website, they should have directions for Form Es and Form Bs. It was quite a few years ago when I did that cemetery, so I don't recall exactly if it didn't encompass that building.
Well, at some point, I know you can't do it right away, but there's no hurry. But at some point, if you could, I know you submitted a proposal for restoring that tomb years ago, and it never got. It fell by the wayside for whatever reason. But if at some point you could come up with another proposal, we certainly would entertain the thought of, going through with it.
All right, yeah, I'll put that on. the
Even if
list.
even if we have to pay for it ourselves, because, I mean, I think that the building itself is in pretty good shape, but, it needs some, needs to be repointed and things like that, and the roof probably, but at least if we had a starting point of what you would consider to be needed to be done to it, and then we can take it from there.
Yes, the main concern with that was, and the main expense was having a roof put on. I think we had figured a 50-year metal roof.
Yeah.
The roof material is not seen. So that I thought that would be a good roof for that building. And we were going to do the scraping and painting of the fascia and the overhang, and the paint and the pointing. I was going to donate services to do that. And then there needed to be an appropriate new front door for that building, something that might approximate what was there originally.
Yeah.
And then it's fully restored. Once you got the roof on and the brickwork, which is minor, is taken care of, that building is, it's got centuries to go with very little cost for maintenance.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was built around 1850, from what I can
Yeah,
gather.
yeah.
So, no, it's definitely something we want to keep. It's, even though we don't use it, it's still, it's part of the town's history, and it should be preserved. So,
Yes.
If at some point you could come up with some kind of a proposal, we would certainly entertain thoughts of, I'm not speaking for everybody else on the commission, but I certainly would support trying to, I want to get that building taken care of.
Yes, yeah. It was an important building for the community. A lot of people had their relatives sleep all winter in that building
Yeah,
in
Yep.
past centuries.
yep. That's all I got.
Any other discussion on the cemeteries or town tomb? Demolition delay bylaw amendments. I'll let you lead this section of the meeting, Bill. Bill Lakso.
Yes, okay, on February 3rd, I met with Adam Burney, Planning and Land Use Director, and Casey Burlingame, Building Superintendent, to discuss amendments to the demolition delay bylaw. There's agreement with the proposals, but to pass a town meeting, Adam felt clarification is needed in some areas of the amendments, most of which are grammatical in nature, plus a few suggestions. He noted recommendations and will email a copy to me. One item in particular, that of requiring the building owner to make periodic written reports, I was able to respond to by stating my intent was to provide a questionnaire to the owner to be responded to as indicated every other month. On the subject of minimum maintenance bylaw, which is of course separate from that, there was less enthusiasm. Such bylaws are frequently used in a historic district application, but generally not community-wide. And it is felt that the topic was too complex to pass at town meeting. I had previously spoken with Mr. William Nemser, a planning director for the town of Maynard, about a similar bylaw attempt there. That failed to pass as presented. Later, it modified. It did pass, but I was told it remains a work in progress. Similarly, Jennifer Raitt, planning director for Arlington, suggested extreme caution in proposing such a bylaw. Further, I determined that the town of Beckett had been involved in a lawsuit over such a bylaw. So needless to say, I will not pursue the subject of a minimum maintenance bylaw any further. On February 16th, I sent edited documents on the bylaw amendment, including a proposed questionnaire and I'm awaiting a response from them. That's where we stand right now.
On demo delay?
Yes.
Tell me that again, what you did, please.
I'm sorry?
What's the status of the amendments for demolition delay bylaw?
Well, a copy of the modified or edited proposal has been sent to Adam Burney, who wanted to review it in hopes that we would be more easily passed at town meeting.
All right, so you sent him your revised, did he say when he's gonna get back to you?
I'm waiting for him to get back to me now. And members of the commission all have a copy of these proposed amendments.
When does the warrant, to be on the warrant for, to be a warrant for the next town meeting? What's the deadline, do you know?
I don't know what that is. It's fairly soon. It's in March, I believe. Something like March 12th or whatever.
It closes on March 15th.
March 15th.
Yeah, that's when it closes.
All right, so in order to
Yeah.
get this
So I'm
on,
not sure. I'm not certain if we'll be able to get it in time for that. So depends on what Adam Burney responds to.
yeah.
We're trying to modify the language so it'd be more easily accepted by town meeting.
What language was he concerned about? Do you know?
Oh, very small points. There's general agreement with all of it, but
Yeah.
some clarification and largely grammatical and plus a few suggestions, just so that it would pass muster.
Good. So did you want to get this on this meeting, or will it wait till the fall, right? There's usually a special meeting in the fall.
Well, I'm not certain. It all depends on how much work is needed before it reaches the select board for approval. If not in the annual meeting, then we'll ask for it to go on the special one in the fall.
Yeah. All right, so you'll let us know what the corrections are and
Absolutely.
where this stands. Any other discussion on the demolition delay bylaw amendments? Kevin says no. Okay, historically speaking articles. Bill Lakso.
Yes, I submitted one on the Cushing House as the first of a proposed new series directed to some of our historic homes in town. And unfortunately, lack of space prevented it in appearing last week. So I'm hoping it will appear in this Friday's edition. In addition, we worked on one for the Brooks House, which is nearly complete. And I've made good progress already on the Houghton House in writing an article about that. And so that we'll be able to perhaps submit these on a monthly basis to the Lunenburg Ledger for publication. It would give
Yes.
the citizens of Lunenburg a good idea of, what we have for historic homes and how valuable they are to be preserved for the community.
Yes, excellent. Any other old business? Nope, no old business, other business. I sent out sent the annual report into the town manager's office. So that work was done. Any comment or questions about the annual report?
Looked good to me.
CPA. When I spoke with a number of people concerning the primary school, what they had done in their communities, a lot of the communities had used CPA funds for matching grants for the rehab of their buildings. So I was thinking of former Chair Landry had done a lot of work on trying to get the CPA passed over a number of years now, and with no little response from the select board over that time. I was thinking of I thought it might need more education. I spoke with Bill Tyler about CPA use by the Cemetery Commission. I noticed that a number of projects, including town hall renovations in different communities, as well as there's a really neat cemetery in Somerville that was mid-19th century, all the not huge, but decent size, and all the stones were white marble that had become black over the years. And the iron gates were rusty, and the wall around it was in need of work. And Somerville used the CPA funds and had that cemetery totally restored. It looked like brand new. It was amazing. All the marble stones in there were clean. It was just like everything was brilliant white, and the gates were restored. The iron gates were cleaned and painted, and the stone perfectly maintained. And there was another cemetery that I used to drive by to work in Stoneham, late 18th, early 19th century cemetery, and same thing. We're using CPA funds to restore the cemetery. I'm sure there's a lot more of that goes on in the stem, and that's just me driving around seeing these things. So I'm sure there's a lot more. So I thought of if we could contact other commissions and get a sense, especially commissions that would be able to utilize the CPA funds, and have more communication between the commissions, and then gain a consensus that we can go to the select board with as commissioners, to promote the CPA is a good idea for the town to buy into. Any discussion or comment? Kevin? The CPA is a Community Preservation Act. The town, the state started it with each real estate transaction in the state. There's a percentage of money from that transaction that has to go to the state and goes into a big pot of money. And then if communities vote to be a part of the CPA, they're able to access these funds for matching grants for projects in the town. Can be for arts, for parks and recreation, for a number of historical preservation, rehab of municipal buildings, a number of different things in the community. And every real estate transaction in Lunenburg pays into that, but other communities get that money. It doesn't come back here because we're not part of the CPA. So that's what this is about. And the Historical Commission has advocated for the CPA for the town for since it began, and it hasn't gone anywhere in this town. So this is a renewed effort from the Historical Commission.
So has it been rejected in the past?
And it's never gone to, I don't know if it did go to town. I think it did go to town vote once and was rejected, wasn't it? Yeah. And the last time it was couldn't get by. The select board voted 3-2 not to put it on the warrant.
It seems like there wouldn't be a reason why you wouldn't want it. I don't know. It seems, what would be the reason it would not be wanted?
Yeah, kind of exactly. That's that's the question. Yeah, it's free money. I think you want to access it.
Yeah,
So Richard, are you saying
Many
that-
homeowners look at it as an added tax, which it is not, but that's what people look at it as.
I think that's a
Good
perception
cause,
people
though,
had,
so.
people had because people seem to think it's a tax, an added tax burden, and it's really not.
No, yeah, that was all explained at the meeting. Somehow it didn't go by, but I think if we can get the number of commissions that can utilize these funds, it might make a difference in explaining it to the populace and get people to go along with it.
Have you spoken to the Park Commission?
No, I haven't gotten started on this yet.
They might be interested.
Do you want to, once did you get a chance to research it yet, CPA?
No, not really. Not tut much. No, not yet.
Got plenty to do anyways, but
Yeah,
yeah, I was planning on talking to the Parks Commission, Planning Board, Finance Committee, and emailing Town Manager and see what she thought about it too.
because I know the Park Commission is undertaking some sort of a huge plan to revitalize Marshall Park, some sort of a master plan, and I'm sure they might want to take part in that.
Any further comments or discussion on CPA? Okay, town survey. Bill Lakso.
Well, I mentioned it, a little bit of it earlier in the meeting, but so I have nothing more at this time.
So you talked with Jennifer Doherty, the historic preservation consultant.
Yes,
Could you,
and in fact, I think I believe I sent you a copy of her response and some of the suggestions that she has. So what we need to do before we need to develop our own survey plan first. So that needs to be done before we can really move ahead with it.
so
We can talk about that separately.
what do we have to do next for that?
We need to determine exactly what we want to survey, for example, the K houses, and a goal for for the work to be done. And whether we want to do it looking for homes only of historic interest or by age or whatever. So there's several categories we need to look at and make a decision before we proceed. We have to develop a survey plan for the town.
Got it. All right, so we'll review the your communications and then come up with an outline and discuss it at our next meeting.
Yep.
Okay. National Historic District signs, I communicated with the, I sent an email to the DPW head and sent him a map of where that showed where the signs go. He was, because there's one missing on Highland, the one on Oak Ave is in the wrong spot. And I sent him a map with where the missing one goes and where the misplaced one needs to be moved to. And I sent him the information on where to purchase the replacements for the signs that are missing. So there needs to be a new National Historic District sign at the on Highland, and yeah, it's the only one. And then the one on Oak Ave needs to be moved. So that's the APD sign is also part of that sign, with the APD sign being above the National Historic District sign. So I haven't heard back from him, but he seems to be on the ball. So I would think that he would take care of that first thing this spring. Uh, 62 Elm Street. I spoke with Rebecca Lantry. She had obtained information that the people that bought, nothing's been done with that house since the developer had purchased that land. And he was supposedly had sold it to somebody that was going to live there and restore the house. But nothing has been done in the past year. So I questioned Rebecca about getting me the information so I could find out what was going on. And she had obtained the information that somebody from Acton had bought the house with full intentions of restoring that house and barn. So that was missing news and good news for that place. And any other business or questions, discussion?
Motion to adjourn?
Yes. Kevin, second it?
I'll second that.
All right, Kevin Boussom seconds it. All in favor of adjournment? Bill Lakso,
Aye.
and Jennifer Sanderson,
Aye.
Kevin Boussom,
Aye.
Richard McGrath votes aye. Meeting is adjourned, 8:09, 8:08. And next meeting Thursday, March 25th, 7 p.m. I'll see you all
Stay
then.
safe,
All
everyone.
right.
Good night, all.
Good night, Kevin. Thank
All right.
you.
Good night.
Night, Bill.
You know what? You might want to do,
What?
when you do your list of, all your houses or whatever, in